and look into every one of these deaths, every one of these
Let's
disabilities
float the
from people who have
anti-vaxxers.
taken vaccines,
Why?
and then you should
That's
pay
not
them
how
out.
this works. Anybody can submit that.
I don't
There's
care
no
how
evidence
it
to
works.
I know
This
you
is
don't, clearly,
this is
because you believe theirs.
unprecedented.
It's obvious you
No,
don't know how it
this
works.
is unprecedented,
And it's obvious
all of
you
these
don't
people
care
should
how
be
it works
paid back.
either. We all benefit from diversity. You can look at various different studies that show that are like communities where people are predominantly white, as there is more diversity just sort of naturally introduced into the community, the people of that community tend to become far less racist. I know there was one study that was misdone. I know there was one study in 2008 that claimed the opposite, but I know that it had several flaws and has since been rather heavily debunked. So yeah, for the most part, diversity seems to benefit people. And again, we achieve this by just social exposure to other races.
I disagree. Diversity made me super racist.
I mean,
Well, that's your problem, buddy.
You got exposed. Aiden, that sounds more
Thanks
like
for
you got
radicalizing me,
exposed to it.
Hunter.
I think
No, Aiden, I think you got exposed to it on a completely
Hunter, you
different side.
radicalized me.
Aiden,
No,
you were
listen
radicalized
to
the
this,
day Aiden, you were radicalized the day your father left.
No,
I
your
got
video is radicalized.
You don't have to, Hunter, you don't have to pull that kind of shit.
No,
That's
I
just-
appreciate that.
Let's be safe.
Would the anti-vaxxer like to talk?
What? Which one? There's like all of us here.
Oh, you're all anti-vaxxers. Are you guys anti-vax or just anti-COVID vax?
All of everything.
All of everything.
An
Huh?
actual anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
Is this actually? So this is okay. What makes you
I'm a
guys?
pre-COVID.
What
I'm a
makes you
pre-COVID
anti-vax?
anti-vaxxer.
What makes you anti-vax?
Because it's not safe and effective.
Yes.
Where's your evidence there? Considering the fact that, I mean, we can just look on a broad level, especially if we're talking about vaccines across the board.
All right,
Like,
well,
millions of deaths have been averted because of vaccines.
Oh, okay.
No, they
well,
haven't.
I mean,
They've been
The COVID
caused
one?
because of vaccines.
They've been what because of the vaccine?
Caused.
COVID vaccines have about 1% actual effectiveness.
Where are you getting this?
But they have a risk. Well, it's actual statistics, right?
No.
But if you look at their what do they call it? Their effectiveness in studies, you can find ones that show effectiveness of 100%. I've seen them even. I went and read one like a week ago to work out how they work out effectiveness percent.
And how do they work
and yeah,
out the
they
effectiveness?
well, they do magic and they use subsets, right? So they're like, in this place in South Africa, amongst these specific people who we had as our test subjects, we gave them the vaccine and then checked later on to see if they got infected with COVID. And nobody got infected with COVID. So we conclude that our vaccine is 100% efficacious.
Well, that
or
wouldn't be
effective.
100% effective, but there are other ways to look at how
That's how they did it.
Well, hold on. There's other ways to look at how it could be effective as well, which is how do people who are hospitalized with the vaccine compare to those who are hospitalized without the vaccine, or vice versa? Like if you just look at the hospitalization rate in general, it's significantly higher among the unvaccinated. That right there is a testament to vaccination.
No, that's not true.
Second of all, before we get onto that, I just like to clear something up. Thankfully, I was able to find this on a children's website, in case you guys are interested. Using mathematical models, we found that vaccination saved 37 million lives between 2000 and 2019. We project that it could save 32 million more by 2030. So I have some statistics here, literally, that are able to be found on a children's website.
It has a lot of problem, and they're applying it to children who are not at risk. You have a risk.
Are we talking about I'm talking about vaccines
they're-
across the board here. This isn't COVID vaccine.
And they're applying it to children who are not at risk.
Are you talking about the COVID vaccine right now?
Which is obviously.
Okay, wait. So you said you were against all vaccines, and so I was just clearing up the claim that vaccines have killed more people.
One by one. Are your statistics applying to something other than COVID?
Yes, because this was
COVID
vaccination
vaccine.
saving millions of
So, but
lives
you didn't
between
specify.
between
But you didn't
2000.
specify.
Yes, I did
So,
specify.
so
I'll
you're
read
gonna
it again.
you're gonna conflate
Can I?
other vaccines with the COVID vaccine,
No,
and we're just gonna
dude.
group
Hold up,
everything
hold
all
up. Wait, wait, wait.
together,
I think that you're
or
mixing up. I think
you're
that we're
not
talking
you're
past
not
each other.
gonna mention the specific
We're going to
vaccines.
talk about the COVID vaccine in a second. I just wanted to clear up when you
Oh,
said
okay.
that the vaccines haven't
sure
killed any.
you don't
When
want
you hold
to
on,
conflate
buddy.
those
Hey,
conversations
when you
together?
said the vaccine has killed a bunch of people
you
and it
sure?
hasn't done anything, I was clearing that up by reading this thing that shows between 2000 and
Yeah, but you didn't
2019,
specify.
the vaccine. Yes, I did. I read this. The vaccination saved 37 million
So
lives.
you're
So
not
now
gonna
that hold
you're
on.
not
So
gonna
now that
mention
now that
how dangerous this
no,
vaccine is.
now that that's cleared up,
So now
we
that
can
we
now go
know
ahead and
that
talk
we
about
have
the COVID vaccine. Now that we've
400,000 people that are dead, we're just gonna go ahead and
So now that we've established that the vaccine has saved lives overall across the board, the claim is absolutely incorrect when you say that the vaccine is killing people or has not helped anyone.
Can we just relax for a moment there? Can I just ask a question? Anti-vaxxer, were you against all vaccines?
Yes.
Or
That's why I was
Yeah,
reading this
I'm
stat. He
an
said yes.
actual-
That's why I read this
I'm
stat
not
from
a LARPer.
2000 to 2019.
I'm not a LARPer. I'm an actual anti-vaxxer.
Okay, but
I'm
that's
not
what.
a Johnny come
So that
can
is
we just
why
start
I
talking
read
about
this
that?
statistic. Can I clarify that, please? Because
Mhm.
he's accusing me of conflating this with COVID or something. I wasn't. I was saying
Yeah, you
generally
are.
and broadly speaking, over the
So you
course
still-
from
so you still
2000
haven't
and
mentioned what
from
vaccine it's
2000
for.
and 2019, the vaccination saved
vaccine is that
37
for?
million lives. Talking about different,
so what
various different
vaccine is
vaccinations. Now that that's
So what's the
addressed, we can
vaccine is that
move
for?
on to the
So
COVID
what
vaccine.
is that for?
Excuse
So
me.
what vaccine is that for? You
Wait,
don't
I
know?
told you this is a kid's website. I can send it to you if you'd like to pick through it.
So
I was just
did
giving
not
you a
ask
broad
that question.
statistic.
You're answering questions that I didn't ask. I've
I'm
only
not
asked one
answering
question from the
questions
beginning.
that you asked.
I've only asked one question from the beginning, and you're just derailing, aren't you?
No, I'm trying
Hmm?
to address one thing that you said in the beginning, which was that
So
you're
no,
against all
you're not.
vaccines
No,
and
you're
they
not.
killed
What
people.
you're doing is trying to pick my apart, but you're not addressing my question. My question is, what vaccine is that?
Okay, yeah, and I can
What?
clearly say that I
Nothing?
don't know because this is just the abstract
Nothing?
part of it. You can
Okay,
read through it
yeah.
if you'd like. But this is
Yeah,
over
so
the course from
I'm not
2000.
interested in reading. I'm not interested in reading your data. You just don't know it.
Wait,
So
buddy,
you're gonna
I
bring it,
Googled.
you're gonna bring it
Is
up
this
without
your
knowing what
own? You
vaccine
told me
you're
that the
talking
vaccine
about.
is killing people,
I mean,
and now
you
it is.
could
It's the
refer to
smallpox
it by
vaccine.
disease,
Hold on. Here
or
you go.
you
You
could
ready? It's the
you could
hepatitis
refer
B
to it by its
vaccine.
name,
It was the
or you could
measles.
refer to
All right,
it
let me
by
go
the
ahead and mute
company
him.
that's.
So it was the hepatitis B vaccine, the measles vaccine, the rotavirus vaccine, yellow fever vaccine, rubella. The period we focused on is 2000 to 2030. We created various mathematical models. So yeah, it makes it pretty clear. The fact that you're bringing up the fact that I didn't know this right off the top of my head as some kind of an own is laughable and pathetic. And it's because you realize very quickly that I know what I'm talking about and you're just a disillusioned conspiracy theorist. So now that we're back to the conversation, again, now that we've addressed that vaccines have saved lives over the course of 10, 20, 30 years, now we can talk about the COVID vaccine. Are you ready?
Zillion people that have been cured by the vaccine, and there's never been any side effects. There's never been any deaths, no Bell's palsy, no side effects.
So let's talk about the
whatsoever.
COVID vaccine now,
It's all
since you
just
brought that one
been-
up before.
It's all just been sugar and roses this entire time.
I know you like to ramble, but let's get back to the COVID vaccine now.
I'm not
So,
rambling. I'm
yes,
trying
you
to
are. You're
address
not
some of
saying
these
anything,
issues.
and you're talking about roses.
So,
So when we're talking about
well,
the
you're-
COVID vaccine,
I'm
you're saying that it's
trying-
giving. Hold
you're
on.
trying
You're
to
saying that.
conflate these issues.
No, you're
should
just
just-
being
you
super
should
bad
go
faith
ahead
and lying
and-
constantly.
Keith, please let the guest guy speak. Keith.
Who's Keith? Is he the anti-vaxxer? Oh, he left.
Yeah.
Did someone
Yeah,
kick him?
No, he left. I was trying to control it. You guys were kind of over talking each other.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, that's because
conversation
I
was
literally
pretty
just
bad.
I just muted him. That's why, because I had to get my point out and he wouldn't shut the fuck up, and then he was lying and saying that I was trying to conflate that with COVID vaccines when I wasn't. I was trying to address an earlier point he made.
Sure, but you came in really hard.
Whoa. Whoever that is,
Whose
shut
mic
up.
is that?
All right, mute this loser.
Say this Aiden.
Yeah, I'm okay coming in pretty hot because anti-vaxxers are some of the most disgusting cretins that crawl this earth. So yeah, I think that they deserve to be absolutely blown the fuck out in every conversation.
No,
imaginable.
chill.
I mean, you can blow someone off in a conversation, right, without necessarily coming out of it being 100 straight from the get-go.
Oh, good, he's
right?
back. Hey, buddy, you come back?
Like, maybe just build up the points a little bit first.
I'm okay bullying
Sorry,
anti-vaxxers. These people do harm to the world. This guy's up here lying to my stream and to everyone in this call about the fact that vaccines have killed a bunch of people,
What
which
did I
is
lie about?
bullshit. You said that the vaccine has
What did I
killed.
lie about?
I'm explaining. You said that the vaccine has killed more people than it's saved, and so I read you the statistic,
You're
which
strawmanning
clearly
me. I didn't say that.
is that not
You're a liar.
okay? What did you say
You're
then?
strawmanning me.
What did
sir.
you say then, buddy? Could
I
you-
never. I did. I say that it's killed more people than it's cured.
Listen,
did I
I
say
will
that?
say it may have. Was
When
it
did I say
Elmery
that?
who
Are
said
you
that
not
instead?
strawmanning me?
Was it Elmery who said that instead?
When-
I'm pretty sure it was
Are you
us.
not? Are you
I-
not? No,
no,
nobody else
I
said
haven't.
that.
Okay,
No, I
so
haven't said
yeah,
You're a liar, sir.
no, I'm not a
You're a
liar. My
bogus
stream is,
liar.
buddy. My stream is here.
You're
They can go get a
disingenuous.
clip.
You're a disingenuous liar.
You can.
Sorry. You're strawmanning
Says the guy
me.
that literally
and
is
you're making
terrified
my
of getting a
arguments.
safe and effective vaccine. But okay.
I'm not terrified. I'm not terrified of needles or anything like that.
So
I
why are
give
you against
blood
the
all
COVID
time
vaccine?
Because it's not safe and it's not effective.
Where's your evidence of this?
Where's my evidence? VAERS.
Okay, so do you understand that VAERS anyone can submit a?
Do I
complaint?
understand VAERS? Yes, I do understand VAERS, that there's a correlation and that we need to do a much deeper study, and that these vaccine producers need to go ahead and pay these people that have been disabled. These
Well,
million people so far
Well,
that
there's
have been
actually,
disabled.
I agree that people who have been harmed directly and that if they're able to cause that they have been directly harmed by the vaccine, I think that they should be compensated. And thankfully, there's actually a government entity that handles that. But VAERS itself does not, but hold on, VAERS is not actually designed to tell you whether or not a vaccine is safe.
No,
Even
you should-
VAERS
you
itself
should
says
go
this.
into
So bringing up,
each one
hold
of
on,
those
excuse
cases.
me, am I able to just finish my
No,
point,
no,
please?
no.
So
no,
bringing,
we understand what correlation is. We
I
understand
know.
what that is.
So then why are
perfectly, and
you
should go
ignoring
into
the
each one
even
of those
stronger,
cases,
better
and you should
correlation
go
with people
ahead
that are
and
not
pay all of those
hospitalized,
people.
vaccinated versus people that are
You
hospitalized,
should go ahead.
unvaxxed?
You should go ahead and look into every one of these deaths, every one of these disabilities from people who have taken vaccines,
Why?
and then you should.
That's
pay
not
them
how
out.
this works. Anybody can submit that.
I don't care.
There's no
how
evidence
it
to show.
works.
I know
This
you
is-
don't
this
clearly
is
because you believe VAERS.
unprecedented.
It's obvious
No,
you don't
this
know
is-
how it
this is
works, and it's
unprecedented,
obvious
all of
you
these
don't
people
care how
should
it
be
works
paid back.
either.
All of these people, they're just left to their families to be taken care of when they're permanently
Hold on,
disabled.
please chill with the moral
This is
outrage for a second.
this is
Let's
a
get back to the
horrible
actual
weight.
VAERS
This is
point.
a horrible weight that has been hefted upon our society, and we're just
Wow.
supposed to
You're
carry
so
this
brave.
just because you thought it was a good idea to give all
Yes,
these people
preach.
vaccines that were highly dangerous.
Amen, Daddy.
You're
Yes,
just gonna go ahead,
preach.
go ahead and give
Okay,
people
so
poison
this is the
substances
interesting idea, right?
that injure them.
Anti-vaxxer. Where are you getting the idea that the vaccines are dangerous, right? Where's that idea coming
VAERS.
from?
Again,
VAERS,
so I'm trying to
people who
address
take it and have heart
VAERS.
attacks and drop dead.
I
Some
li-
odd 135
Not all of those are
FIFA
because of the
players
vaccine.
that have dropped dead on the field after taking the vaccine.
What about the hundreds of thousands of lives that have been saved by the vaccine? And you have a higher risk of
They
having
haven't
heart
been
issues
saved.
from COVID
They
than you
haven't
do any
been saved
vaccine.
because it's not
So
effective.
to back up again, wait, you're
So
not letting me
guess
address your
what?
point.
Guess what?
All right, I'm going to mute him so I can address his point for everyone else listening. So
wait,
when we're
wait,
talking,
Keith, let him finish. Keith, come on, let him finish.
he will not
real
shut the
quick.
fuck up. Like it's impossible for me to get a word in when he will not shut the fuck up. So-
I mean,
Wait, Hunter, wait, you have like mod clips? Wait, verified? Yes, have mod clips?
No, there's a mod in here.
I'm
okay.
not a mod. I'm all I'm saying is that when it comes to VAERS, anybody can submit an application. It does not prove anything when it comes to the quote unquote danger of the vaccine. Literally, you can read right now, people write feeling funny after taking the vaccine. They could stub their toe and submit a form on VAERS and say, my toe hurts after I got the vaccine. And it would pop up there as a VAERS report. So when you say VAERS,
let's go ahead and
you
just research
show
the death.
yourself to being
Instead of
uneducated and an
researching the things
ideologue
where people
because
have-
hold on,
have,
you're an
you know,
ideologue
go
because you
ahead
don't
and
care
die.
about the truth.
We'll
You're just
go
picking
ahead
what
and
agrees with
research
you.
the ones who have died. How
You're an
about that?
ideologue. You're an ideologue.
I suggested that from the beginning. Let's
You're an
go ahead and just
ideologue.
look
All
into
you
the-
do is
let's-
pick.
let's
No, all you do is
triage.
pick and choose
Let's
fake
go
data
ahead-
to
let's
go along
ahead
with
and
your
triage.
position.
And let's go ahead and look at the
No,
deaths,
you're an
and we'll
ideologue.
triage from the worst
Keith,
from
you're an
the worst
ideologue. You're an
to the-
ideologue,
to the
Keith.
least.
You're an
You wanna-
ideologue,
you wanna
Keith.
go ahead- you want to go ahead and
You
start
won't
with the
shut
people
up, so
who've
I'm
been
just not going to shut up. You're an
I want
ideologue,
to go
Keith.
ahead. I want to go ahead and start with the people who have been most injured by this.
All right,
So
well,
we'll
why
just
don't
go
you go
ahead
with
and we'll
that,
look
and I'll
into
start with the lives that have been
every
saved
single
from
death
COVID, okay?
that have been those people weren't saved because your vaccine was not effective at saving people.
Really?
It
Then why
didn't
is it that the
work.
majority of
It wasn't
hospitalizations are among
effective.
people that are
It was
unvaccinated?
it at the very least, and I don't even agree with this. It was maybe a treatment, but it was not an effective vaccine in
Really?
any
Then why
way,
does it
shape, or
deliver
form.
literal, robust immune response? Why?
Why does it that it kills T cells? Why is it when people get their blood work that they have blood clots throughout their blood? Why is it
I
that former
don't know,
cancer
but not.
patients?
This
Why
is your
is it
problem.
why
Is
is
you
it
are
that we
literally
see a
trying to,
huge uptick in
buddy.
former
You're
cancer
attributing
patients
all of this to the
and that their
vaccine, though.
cancers come back after
Wait,
they get the
yeah.
vaccine?
See,
Why is
What
that?
the
Do
see,
you have any
the problem.
answers? Do you have any answers
Anti-vaxxer,
to
wait,
any of
wait.
those
The
questions?
problem is you're
Anti-vaxxer,
attributing
you're
all
doing
of this to the vaccine when you don't know that, and that's the problem with VAERS.
No.
Is you
We do our
don't know
research.
if it's
Oh,
actually because
absolutely,
of the vaccine.
absolutely.
Heidi,
We
can
And
you
do our
start
again,
research.
modding? I don't
You
feel
shouldn't
things
you
happen.
should
Hold
not
on.
make
yeah,
this
One more
easy at
thing
all.
that I would like
Well,
to say to
kinda.
Keith really quickly. You're an ideologue, Keith. Again, you're demonstrating that
Oh,
fact because all you care about is
no.
picking and
You
choosing
call
the
me an
information
ideologue.
that goes along with
No,
your
no,
bullshit
I'm saying
narrative.
that we need to research this information deeper.
Okay.
We
Really?
need
Then
to
why
go
don't you
into this
research
in
the
depth.
information on people
Guys,
that have been saved by the
guys,
vaccine
No.
deeper?
We need to
Wait,
go and we need to
okay.
look into the death.
So I don't want to mute anybody. I don't want to mute any. Shh. I don't want to mute anybody. But this is still, even if Hunter's here, this is still a room in which abides by the rules of the server. So you guys need to talk one at a time. I kind of want to join the conversation, so please don't fucking make me mod. But like, talk one at a time.
yes, mommy.
Okay, I'll go first. So, Keith, Mr. Ideologue,
Of
could you
course you will.
please drop the VAERS crap? Because now that we've established
No.
that anybody can go ahead and support or
I will never drop
submit
it.
an application,
Hush,
it does not at
anti-vaxxer.
all demonstrate the fact that the vaccine is dangerous. Instead, we have much better data and much more solid information showing that the rate of hospitalizations, death, and severe outbreaks are among those who are unvaccinated. In fact, even the vaccinated, if they are to suffer a breakthrough virus, are contagious for way less time as opposed to unvaccinated individuals, which again reduces the spread of COVID and in turn saves more lives. You are hurting people, you're killing people because you're an ideologue. Thank you.
What?
Is this an AMA now? Is this what this is?
Is this what?
No,
I mean,
it's
I mean,
not
this
an
is
AMA.
a Q&A.
No,
I mean,
no, it's not an AMA. Stop.
yeah, it's not an
Can
AMA.
I get a mod to back me up? Is Hunter the only one that's allowed to speak? I can continue to
No.
be.
Wait, I
I
was
mean, he's
done.
a
It was
guest.
your turn. I said, no, I'm not a guest. Don't treat me with
Yeah,
any
but-
different treatment.
but
I
other
said
people
thank
started
you.
talking
That was
after you
implying
were
that it's
done.
your turn, Keith. It's your turn to go after I said thank you.
So if you just look at Pfizer's own data, that in the first month that they were looking into this, that 1,200 people died in the first month. That was the data that they had to give to the FDA. That was the data that they tried to seal for 55 years, but it had to be released under a FOIA request.
55 years.
So-
Wait, hold on. Stop.
so in fact-
Anti-vaxxer. Hold on. Wait.
Well, go ahead and
55
interrupt
years
me,
ago.
because the rules don't apply to
I
you
am.
because you're a
No,
mod.
I am. Be quiet. 55 years ago,
So
right?
you're a mod.
It's
COVID-19.
You're a
misleading.
black woman. You're gonna come in
55
here and go ahead and
55 years
talk over the
ago.
top of me.
Anti-vaxxer. Stop. You've been interrupting people all day. That's why I came into this room. So like 55 years ago, right? COVID-19 was not a novel virus. It didn't even exist 55 years ago. What did exist was COVID. And Pfizer was not in the business of trying to get rid of COVID.
Could I please also respond to something really quickly? So the documents that you're talking about that allegedly showed there were 1,200 deaths, the documents cited in that article actually contain nothing to indicate again that the vaccine was linked
So,
to
Patty,
the
you got
deaths.
that
So
completely
hold on, wait,
reversed.
excuse me. The figure
It's
of
55
hold on,
years
excuse
into
me. I'm
the
trying to
future,
read the
not
number here. I'm
55
trying to.
years into
I'm
the
sorry.
past.
Oh,
Excuse
wait,
me.
anti-vaxxer,
Well, I
sorry.
couldn't speak
Don't
because I
interrupt
was
people,
muted
right?
and I was interrupted.
Anti-vaxxer,
Well,
don't
Keith,
I didn't mute you, by the way. That wasn't me. But
I'm
like,
glad
don't
that you
interrupt
were
people,
interrupted
right?
because you were lying and again hurting people. So if I
Yeah,
could
both of
finish
you
debunking your
interrupt me,
bullshit,
but
that
the
would be
rules
really nice.
only apply to me because I'm the anti-vaxxer.
Yeah. Yes,
Well-
actually.
well,
So
first
the
of all,
figure of
I didn't-
1,200 fatalities among 150 Wait,
No.
the figure
No,
of
it was
1,200 fatalities
in their
among
it was in their test group.
150,000
It wasn't
adverse effects.
it
Buddy,
wasn't that. Yeah.
I'm trying to read this.
Well-
They reflect spontaneous reports from sources that include health officials in several countries without any verification of the cause among the millions of vaccinated people worldwide during that period. So this was not a Pfizer test where 1,200 of them died. This was 1,200 because of spontaneous reports out of 150,000. So again, you're misrepresenting.
Unfounded data. Is that what you think?
I think that you're misrepresenting.
That it's not
I think
supported with
what I think is
medical reports?
I'll answer Keith's question. I think that you're misrepresenting information because you're a liar, a scumfuck, and also an ideologue. Thank you.
You really hurt my feelings.
Anti-vaxxer, wait.
I'm not trying to hurt your feelings.
Are you under the impression that when studies happen for a long amount of time, that people are not supposed to die for whatever cause during that study?
2 months?
That people are just like that people
You
just
consider
like
2 months a
continue.
long amount of time.
Sorry, if I have over.
Do you consider 2 months a long amount of time, Betty?
I'm sorry. Wait. Let's make something very clear. You had a problem with being interrupted, but when it's other people's turn to talk, you like to interrupt
Don't be a
them.
hypocrite
And
because
I'm
you
going
go
to
ahead and interrupt me. The rules only apply to
I'm
me.
going to respectfully ask that as long as you respect me,
The
which you
rules
haven't,
only
and as long
apply
I'm going
to
to ask
me.
you one more time, and then I'm going to mute you for being so interruptive that the conversation can't
Oh
continue
no!
on.
Oh no! Don't
So-
do it!
Stop.
No!
Once
No!
again,
Don't!
all right,
No!
fine. Yeah, I know he can't. So, like I said before, I'm going to ask very politely that you treat everyone with the same amount of respect that
No.
you expect them to get. That
Don't
you
be a
expect.
hypocrite.
There you go. You're muted. That you expect everyone else to give you, which means please don't interrupt us, and we will not interrupt you. So that's how this is going to work. You can either comply with that, or you'll be muted, and I'll actually time it. Please don't make me do that because I want to be a part of the conversation. Thank you. So I'm going to unmute you and I'm going to finish what I'm saying, and then it's going to be your turn to respond. So, like I was saying before, when you have a study going on, and this is a long-term study, and there are hundreds of thousands of participants in that study, yeah, there's probably going to be maybe 1,500 or something like that who could die for any reason. Car crashes, a heart attack, cardiac arrest, whatever, diabetes, whatever reason, yeah, people will probably pass away in that time. That's not at all abnormal.
How much you want to bet that the
You're a
guy's still
hypocrite.
just screeching right now?
Okay.
Oh, here goes.
That's not a response, but okay.
It is a hypocrite. It is because you're conflating different information. You're conflating. The study
tell me
wasn't
how.
of hundreds of thousands
You're
or
one to
millions
talk.
of people. It was for 50,000. So 1,200 people died out of 50,000 within 2 months, and then you went ahead and called that a long-term
No.
study, which
It wasn't
is not in fact
50,000. It was
long-term study.
158,000.
Look, hypocrite,
Why interrupting?
hypocrite,
Why
right here,
interrupting?
Hunter
Wait, guys,
is
stop.
interrupting
Hold
you.
on. Wait, no.
So
To be
so
fair,
this
we
is
said we're not
the
gonna
rules
interrupt
only
him.
apply
Don't
to
interrupt
me. You're interrupting me,
interrupt
and
him.
he's interrupting me.
I'm helping you. Please don't interrupt anti-vaxxer. We're trying to be fair.
So
I wish
so
that they would
those,
just give the dude a
you know,
fucking
those
cutoff
that
time
study
so he
that
could
was
shut the
looked at,
fuck up after a while.
1,200 people died out of the 50,000. If you don't like the information that's available, research it more in depth. I think all of these studies need to be more than correlation. I am not relying on just the correlation of it. I think we need to do a deep dive on, because every single one of these lives matters. If this is a
Can I respond,
medication,
please?
this is an experimental medication that's killing hundreds of thousands of people. We need to look into every single death. Those people, those are lives. Those people had families, they had sons and daughters and grandparents, and they deserve that respect.
Okay, anti-vaxxer, do me a favor.
Can I please respond next?
Can you tell me? Yeah. So can you tell me the deaths, the way in which people died from on this study, the 1,200 people who the 1,200 people who pass away? Can you tell me how they died?
You want to go case by case?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Okay, let's go ahead and get that information. Oh wait, it's sealed. You see,
Nice.
you're going to have to wait 55 years into the future before that information is going to become available.
This is
But
actually
you know
Right,
what?
standard
The court
procedure.
So
the court went
wait a
ahead.
minute,
You're
wait a minute.
interrupting me. You're interrupting
Oh,
me.
But
sorry.
you never
The
stopped
Sorry.
court went
talking.
ahead. You know,
He's
no,
fine. Just
no.
let him go.
You asked a question
Hunter
about it.
Avalon.
I feel like I can go ahead and answer.
Can we just have a
So,
cutoff time,
so
maybe?
the court
Why
ruled.
won't you
No,
debate
they
next
said
We
that
can
they
Wednesday?
time,
needed
yeah.
55. They said that they needed 55 years because of the 450,000 pages of data that they had to go over, and that they wouldn't release that. But the court ordered them to process 55,000 pages of that data every single month. So we're going to be able to find out
Debate
what that
next Wednesday.
information is now in 8 months instead of 55 years.
I'd like
And
to
I
cut
want
in
an
here if I could.
in-depth study of this. I want to
Go ahead,
find
yeah,
out
after he's
what
done.
is wrong with this vaccine. I want to know
Sure.
why these people died.
So a couple
I'm not.
things
I
is
can't. I can't
Hunter, can I
say
ask a
from
quick
here
question? Do you like
without the
men?
Okay,
data. I'm not
anti-vax.
qualified. I'm not qualified to give an evaluation of it. I'm not saying that I am, but we need to, as a people, as all of us, need to look
Okay,
into
but
all
you're
these
just
deaths and
but
repeating
all of
you're
these
yourself. Stop.
injuries
all
a
right.
lot
We
You're
got to
different.
just
cut him off.
repeating
He
yourself.
Yeah, a
will not
lot
stop.
deeper,
He
not
won't
different.
stop talking. He'll never shut the fuck up.
No,
So
no, no,
to
no. That's not
address your
true. That's
dictionary,
not true. I just
first
stopped.
you
You're
said the
repeating
That's
yourself,
not true at
correlation
all.
anti-vaxxer.
point. So
Go
first
ahead.
and
You're a
so
hypocrite,
so
and you
for
can just go
so
ahead
all right. I'm gonna
and
go ahead and
interrupt
just
me
mute him
anyway.
and get my point out. So. For everyone else who
No,
wants to
that's
actually
not.
listen, first he made the claim that it was a he doesn't care about the correlation crap. He doesn't just want to look at correlation. This is hypocritical to the largest degree because anti-vaxxer Keith the entire time has been citing theirs,
Anti-vaxxer,
which is
just let him
nothing.
Dude,
finish, then
stop
you can talk.
anti-vaxxer.
Hold on, which is nothing but correlation. Then he brought up the Pfizer study, which is nothing but
Anti-vaxxer,
correlation.
stop. If you disagree, respond to him then after. Why? Why being a hypocrite?
Wait, he's muted, so I don't hear anything he's saying. What's that noise?
I got
What
him.
is that?
Mute Yi. No, it's Yi. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hunter
got him.
Avalon. Hunter Avalon.
Hold on,
Why
I'm
won't you debate next Wednesday?
And again,
I'm
I'm
responding
Stop,
to this
stop,
other point.
Even
All
if you
right.
think, even if you think he's lying, anti-vaxxer, just let him finish and then respond.
I have
to him.
anti-vaxxer muted, so I don't have to bear his
Okay,
wretched
well,
voice.
okay,
So
whatever,
the correlation
You
point,
have
it's
to turn
extreme.
him up a little bit.
Okay, so it's
Just
extreme.
a little.
I got to do what?
Sorry. You do have to turn him up just a little bit. It's server rules.
Okay. Then
You're
he's
not
on.
even addressing what I'm saying. Then
Hold on.
Anti-vaxxer, it's not your turn.
It's not your turn, anti-vaxxer. So now that we've established that you bringing up that you don't want to just look at correlation as nothing but hypocrisy, let's now address the other thing that you lied
No,
about,
that's
which
a
was
straw man.
hold on,
You're a
excuse me.
fucking
Can you
liar.
stop?
Now
No,
that
that's a straw
excuse
man.
me,
You just
Why
straw
are
let's
you
address-
constantly interrupting anti-vaxxer?
let's
Just
address
stop.
something else that you lied about too, which was the experimental vaccine. This is not experimental by the very definition of what it means for it to be experimental. It is not. It has gone through all the necessary tests, all the necessary
No, it
processes. Yes, it has. All the necessary.
You can't do long. You can't do long term.
Eggshell.
So they have gone through all the necessary processes.
No, they haven't.
What's a process
You're a
that they
liar.
didn't go through?
You're a liar.
What's a process
How
they
do you
didn't go through?
How do you go through long term testing in the short term?
Wait, they don't need
How
to
does
do
that happen?
long-term testing for a
Yeah,
vaccine
actually they
because
do.
the majority
They
of
need to do
negative
testing
symptoms
on
show up within
animals.
2 months,
You need
buddy.
I've had enough. Anti-vaxxer, you're muted for 5 minutes. I've had
Thank
enough.
you. So if I could just finish addressing this. He said now he's lying again, saying they skipped animal trials. No, they didn't. Project Warp Speed made it so that the animal trials and some human trials were going at the same time rather than one before the other. So again, all the necessary steps, all the necessary processes were taken. Some of them were sped up, but they were still all taken and all done correctly. It has now been approved by the FDA as well. If this is experimental, then by that logic, every single fucking medication is experimental because every medication continues to track negative symptoms even after it's been released to the public. This is how verifying medications work. So the fact that you would say it's experimental proves that not only you know nothing, but again proves you're an ideologue.
Hunter, he left.
Yeah, wait, Hunter.
Oh, he left.
Just to,
Okay, good.
point something
He
out.
left.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Can I just point something out?
I
If
have
I'm
a question.
not being mistaken, they
Hold on.
also wait. They also.
Sorry,
Right.
I was just gonna.
Someone was
it
asking
just
for me,
needs
yeah.
to be said. So, like, I know it just needs to be said though. Like, anti-vaxxer has been here for years. This is for months actually, but this is literally what he does. Like, he does this all day,
Feels like
where
years.
he just
He's
like
kind of
complains
trolling
about
the-
vaccines all day.
Yeah,
He's a
just to point
huge piece of
something out, right, Hunter. If I'm not being mistaken, they also did the trial simultaneously while also like developing the vaccine. So it's like as soon as they're getting some information on it, they're like testing it to go through.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
yes,
yeah.
it
Also,
went
as
through
well,
all
like
the
Pfizer
necessary-
has been I mean, Pfizer has been on the receiving end of numerous lawsuits as well. They've demonstrably been proven to lie and conspire against the general public and the public's welfare time and time
That's
again, which
not
is why they've
true at
lost
all.
billions of dollars in lawsuits.
Here's your replacement, Hunter.
Hunter, why won't you debate Nick Fuentes?
Who's that? Oh, is this Aiden? Are you the same guy that asked me if
Yeah.
I like men?
No, I
think
did
so.
not ask you that.
Okay.
No, this guy's only asked if you like Nick Fuentes about 7 times.
I think this
No,
guy
you
likes.
know, why-
I don't
he's
think. I
asking
think this
why
guy
won't
likes
you
Nick
debate
Fuentes. I think this guy.
You wouldn't
really
be
likes
giving.
Nick Fuentes.
You're not giving him a platform.
Uh-oh,
You
we got
have
some
you're not-
groypers. Yes.
Aiden, I
Oh
platformed
my
your
God.
mom last night.
Hey,
It was
instead
great.
of you,
You're irrelevant.
really quick, guys.
Bruh,
Instead
like,
of
who cares?
instead of
Like,
just
just
no
yeah,
one's answering his question.
good question, Patty. Instead of just simping for, or good point, Patty. Sorry. Instead of just simping for Nick Fuentes, why don't you guys tell me what you disagree with me on and why you agree with Nick Fuentes?
I think you should debate Nick Fuentes, or you should debate Dalton.
I don't know who
Okay,
that
okay,
is.
I mean, here's the
I know
thing.
you refuse to debate Nick because you
Do you think
lose.
the
and
country?
said
Do you think the country should remain white?
Wait,
Yeah, but
I mean,
I'm not debating you. I think you should debate Nick, or you should
Okay,
debate
so
Dalton.
you do think the country should remain white, but you would rather hide behind someone that's better versed in misinformation than you are?
like Hunter, you're not addressing
Yeah,
his
well,
initial
you're
claim.
fine, dude.
Aren't you going to debate
you
Nick?
are
Well,
not.
I
Sorry,
don't
wait,
like
wait,
Fuentes, but just
sorry,
address the claims head on.
be quiet. Did you
You hide
explicitly
behind
like
God.
come to? Sorry, did you explicitly come to the room in the server just to complain that Hunter's not debating someone? Because if you are, I just want to be clear. We were having a prior conversation that you're derailing for this bullshit.
I would like to ask
Yeah,
Aiden Plus. I'd like to ask Aiden Plus why he thinks the country should be
Why-
remaining white.
Why are you?
That
why
seems
are
pretty
you hiding
serious.
behind? Why won't you debate Nick?
I mean, I can
think
go
he's a
ahead and take
troll.
that position
I
if you
already
want,
said
and we
that
can
I
have a
don't-
discussion about it.
I already said the reason I'm not going to debate Nick is because he's super well versed in misinformation, and I honestly feel it would be a waste of time. However, we'll see what happens in the near future. Meanwhile, you're the one over here who's now yelling about how the country. Well, you're not
were
yelling about it, but you said that you think the
I didn't
country should
say
remain
that.
white. So can you
No,
explain to
he
me
didn't
why?
say
You would be giving him you claim that you would be giving him a platform. He gets way more viewers than you.
Dude, I hope he
You
sees
have
this,
Yeah.
bro.
You have not gained one subscriber on YouTube since April of 2020.
I
You've
hope-
Oh
lost
my
like
God.
100,000
Oh, wow.
subscribers.
I hope he sees this, bro.
What a waste of time.
I really hope he
Yeah,
sees
You
anyways,
this.
would have known that.
Wait, can we
Like,
tell
is,
him
why,
most
I
of
got
the
a question.
late
Why
night
isn't
with
anyone
Mike?
going to address
You're
anything
gonna try to
Aiden
No
debate
one
says?
me.
cares
I'm
about
Well,
pretty
I
sure
need
we'll
to- I need to
disagree,
address
but just
Aiden.
address what he says.
I'm
Debate
going to
Dalton.
address Aiden. So
Debate
I need to say, Aiden, I think that right
Oh,
now,
Biden.
hold on, Aiden, I think if Nick Fuentes saw this right now, he would be very disgusted because you're acting degenerate. Stop simping
Oh, I
for
know.
another man, okay? And you need to get out of here and then go worry about, I don't know, pursuing your own life, get a cat, do something useful with your time
really?
instead of jumping into
Yeah,
a
he's just
politics
based
server,
on homonyms.
begging me to
Like,
debate your
you're not
big daddy,
addressing
Nick
anything.
Fuentes. You're very desperate, my
thank you,
friend.
guys.
Anti-vaxxer hath returned.
I have a real
You,
question.
so here's the thing, Hunter. Like, I assume that you've debated people in like a formal manner before. Like, all of those are just baseless ad hominem attacks. Like, in implying someone is a simp and then just explicitly stating this multiple times as part of a repeated regimen, they don't constitute an argument, nor would they ever constitute an
Well,
argument at all.
he's not making an
Like, this is
argument to
just
begin.
pointless.
Wait. He's not making
Well,
an
no, he's not
argument to
making
begin
an
with.
argument. I'm
So-
aware of that.
Yeah, so
I
I
agree
just
with
am gonna.
Exactly.
I
He's
have
not
no
making
choice
an
but to
argument.
roast back.
Yeah.
One at a
No,
time.
no. he
And I
didn't
already
roast
addressed
you.
why I
Like,
won't
he
debate
stated a
Fuentes.
fact. You haven't gained subscribers since a particular date. I
That's
know because
also
I've
not
also checked the
true.
subscribe
You
thing.
can look at
Okay.
Social Blade, but if it shows losses doesn't mean I haven't gained subscribers. I've gained
sure
new
you
subscribers.
haven't
I've also
gained,
lost
Like, no,
old
no, I'm not
subscribers.
denying. No, I'm not denying that you probably have gained some subscribers. It's just you've lost more than you've
Wow.
gained
So,
over a
wait,
repeated
but this
period
is the
of
thing
time.
is you.
Cares.
But I know, but exactly, Patty, is you guys are saying,
Well, it's
Hunter,
gonna be
you're throwing
grifter.
ad homs, but I don't need to address these points. What am I going to do? Be like, no, I gained a subscriber yesterday. Like, no, fuck off. I'm going to roast you if
I
you're
mean,
here
no,
to just
like,
be like,
well,
you've
no,
lost
but here's the
subs.
thing, though. It just seems that you're being
You're
remarkably
such a
petty about this.
All right.
Like,
no,
he's
I'm
what? So
sorry.
you're so no. So hold
You're
on.
the
So
one
the
being
thing that
petty,
we're not
bringing up
Aiden said.
sub loss
We're
and
not doing
whatnot.
this.
What are you
We're not-
talking
I'm asking
about?
you all
Bro,
to be
so hold
quiet.
on. So
I
the
will
thing
mute
that
both
Aiden
of
said.
you. I honestly don't
But
care. I
Patty,
will mute both of
dude,
you.
Patty,
I
I'm not even
honestly don't
addressing
care.
you. Like
I
Hunter's the
will
one
mute
like
both
saying
of
the
you.
things.
I will
Patty,
mute
part
both
of
of you.
it.
Okay, there.
Shout
I've
out.
muted you. Good job.
Patty,
So
just use
Patty,
priority
not
speech.
part of
I
this.
I can't. I'm on my phone. I'm using mobile, so that kind of sucks. But let's. I'm sorry. Who fucking cares? We're not talking about this.
Voice troll.
We're moving on to some. We're
Okay, hold on. One
we're
last thing.
moving on to something a
One last
lot more
thing.
interesting
One
than
last
this.
Yeah, let's get to why
Yeah,
Aiden wants the country to be white.
Wait,
Hunter,
oh.
Hunter, will you debate Dalton?
I don't know who Dalton is.
Aiden,
call
He's a
Aiden.
streamer on
Aiden,
OZTV.
ask a
and he
real
gets more views.
question and
Alright,
stop simping for guys,
be
or
quiet.
leave the server, okay?
If you
Wow.
ask one more time why Hunter's not debating this, and this, I'm going to mute you because we're done with that subject. If you want to
I
talk
have
about
a
if the
question.
country should be white,
Country needs a
if
black
you want to talk
savior.
about if the country,
That is not only
Aiden,
racist
sorry.
and disgusting, but also untrue. Like, I did not appoint anyone to being the mod
Oh,
here. Are you
God.
fucking
No,
crazy?
Okay, great.
Don't give
If
him
you
a
want to
ammo.
talk
I
about,
just
if you
subscribed to
want
you.
to talk, why can't you guys shut the fuck up? If you want
Because
to
you
talk
never
about if
talking.
if you want to talk about if the country should be white, you're welcome to do so. We're not doing any more debate who, debate this, debate that. That's stupid. That sucks. Who cares?
Okay, the country
Wait,
should,
I
the
thought we was
country should
moving
remain.
on.
Hold on, I want to address this claim. Okay, so the country should remain white for two reasons. In sociology, we have a study called homophilia
God.
or
What was that,
homophily.
Bilge?
Right.
It's
Yes.
Bilge. It's Bilge.
Let him do it.
Why
Let
are
him
we?
do it.
Why
Let
are
him
we
do
listening
it.
to a
No.
Greek guy?
No,
No,
I don't
no.
want to be
Why are we
trolled right
listening
now.
to
I
a
actually
guy?
want to. Aiden's the one who said, "Yeah, I do want
No,
the."
hold
Or
on,
Clown
what the
World
fuck am I
Enjoyer.
trolling? Hold
Go
on.
ahead,
I'm
Bilge. Go
actually,
ahead.
I'm
Go ahead,
actually
Bilge.
appealing to academia. Okay, so in academia, in sociology, we have a field called the study of homophily. Right, we have plenty of papers on this. That we perceive an internal bias, right, almost natural to a point, that people prefer those that most resemble them. We see this on race, gender, sex, language, geography, whatever. You're picking, there's a bias, right? Marx used to call this the narcissistic bias of merchant people, okay? That we are extrapolating out to everyone. Thing is, people naturally are very tribalistic. Right. So if you don't have a country that is pretty much homogenous, you're going to have pretty much of social attrition. I don't necessarily to prove this. Look at everyone's country right now, which is multicultural. Your country, the US, is almost butchered, right?
No, it's actually not.
social
The U.S. is
inequality.
extremely successful and one of the best
Social
testaments to
inequality,
multiculturalism.
social inequality, right? Racial tensions. I mean, a big part of your politics conversations, right? Political conversations is just the following. Oh, white, black, BLM. It's mainly
respond?
about race.
Yeah, sure. So could I
This
respond
guy's
to this?
argument seems to just be an appeal to nature.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I
a
was
very
about to
lengthy
say. Is
appeal to
that the
nature.
whole just if it's natural does not mean literally anything. So there are all kinds of
Yeah.
things that are natural and seen in nature that we as humans recognize are extremely immoral. For example,
Like
rape. Rape, buddy. Animals do not ask consent.
Eh?
Animals rape each other all the time. That's how it goes, okay?
Yeah.
And guess what? That's immoral for humans. We would never say, oh, well,
Why?
look, it's natural to rape. So who cares? Because we recognize
Yeah,
that
but why
rape
is it
is
immoral?
harmful. Because we recognize that rape is harmful to humans without their ability to consent, obviously. And
Okay.
similarly, appealing to tribalism is also harmful because you try to make a justification or an excuse for racism when one, just if it's natural, it is literally irrelevant. Two, multiculturalism benefits everyone, not only the economy, but it also benefits social cohesion. It blossoms culture. It creates all kinds of better economic abilities or opportunities as well. And so for you to come up here and say, no, tribalism is better, all you're doing is appealing
You mind
to
if I
nature.
interject there?
Yeah, sure.
So first of all,
Okay, right. So,
hold
I mean,
on.
like appealing to like
Hold on,
all of
hold
these
I kinda
other kinds of
rambled there
things,
right
like
now.
it blossoms culture. These are kinds of intangible concepts.
Bill,
Unless you're
speak,
going to
I'm
be
sorry.
specific about unless you're going to be specific about the supposed benefits, those don't really matter. But if you do have some studies, I would be happy to read them. At a later date. But still, though, in relation to like the rape question, okay, like you say because it causes harm. Like, why should I care if it causes harm at all? Like, what is the underlying principles and ethical basis that you kind of deduct these moral beliefs from? But where's your
Okay,
starting
wait, you
point?
understand we're not debating like is rape moral. We're debating
No,
if the country should remain white.
He's asking for like
No,
the
but
super,
you
like,
can
what are your
No, this
axiomatic
is trolling.
principles?
So,
Usually I look
you
at
did
what's
three-
doing harm.
Sorry, you did 3 straw men.
Well, no, but like, how do you define harm? Like, the harm is
Do
relative
you want
to
to
an
be
underlying
raped?
principle.
You know that
but
you
what is
don't
the
want to.
principle?
You know that you don't want to get
Can I
raped.
actually go?
So
He's just moving the conversation apart.
I know we
So
are.
I want
I
to
mean-
stay on this topic.
Go back to
Well,
the
no, but
topic.
all of these things are intertwined. Like a person says, "Oh, I want the
Clown World
country to be white
Enjoyer.
because blah
Clown
blah
World
blah
Enjoyer.
reason."
Stop,
You're
dude.
moving the goalpost. Stop.
Is it
Stop.
impossible for you guys to talk one at a time?
Well, let the other guy go.
He's just.
Vilger Ford, whatever.
Thanks.
Go for it.
Thanks. The thing is, I'm assuming you're doing 3 straw mans. Never said, for example, I'm appealing to nature. I'm not appealing to nature. I'm not appealing to, okay, what is good. Never made that claim. I mean, I'm assuming you perceive that I made that claim. I want to refute that. I'm not saying that.
So what's the point of bringing up that it's natural then?
What? Not referring to, okay. I'm referring to a natural bias. Right?
Yeah, but why should we care?
Yeah, why do we care about the natural bias? Who cares?
Holy fuck, can I just talk? Because they're trade-offs, right? I'm an attorney, right? I'm a lawyer. The thing is, in law, normally if we want to regulate something, we have to perceive trade-offs. Okay, we have this norm, this criterion, right, that we want to impose onto the people, right? What do we need to do, right, to enforce this criterion? Is there a actually positive trade-off, right? If we impose this norm, will the trade-off, will the outcome benefit us in terms, for example, of net liquidity? Yes or no? If not, the trade-off is useless.
So I would say then the trade-off is good because
that's my first. That was my first point. Okay, we have this natural tendency. Hold on.
That doesn't follow. That doesn't follow. Wait, can we go through one point at a time? Can we go through one point at a time, please? I actually want to flesh these out.
I mean, he is making one point. It's just that he's making it in a very inconcise manner.
Sorry, just for the purposes, right, of really Mushu, holy shit. Anyway, just for the purposes of like being concise, right? Village, let's go one point at a time.
Okay, cool. Okay.
So why does it follow? Just if you're saying we have a natural bias, and then you're saying that doesn't mean it's necessarily good, and then there are trade-offs as well. What does the natural bias have to do with trade-offs? And then I would also want to say that even if there was a trade-off, diversity has been demonstrated to benefit the country far more than it harms it.
Fuck diversity.
Okay, let's go point by point. First of all, no one's making a political fallacy. I want to clear that off. The second point is
no one's making what?
Change.
I'm sorry, I missed that. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Appeal to nature, not
you
appealing
literally
to nature,
are,
not
though.
appealing to being.
Okay.
No, what? Buddy, I'm
mate, let him finish, mate.
Okay.
For fuck's sake.
Holy fuck, for someone who's friends with Vosh, you clearly lack
That man is so British.
basic knowledge about philosophy. Appeal to nature is the following.
Vosh is a retard.
Exactly.
Oh, I agree.
Appeal to nature is the following.
Doesn't he eat like kilos on
Yo, excuse me. You guys just came in here. Don't fucking ruin this. Don't make this hard. Be quiet.
Dude, Patty,
we can
stop
just move off the appeal.
Conversation. Just leave it alone. Let it flow.
It's okay. We can move off the appeal to nature thing. Let's just keep on moving on.
An appeal to nature would be the following. Because we eat meat eating is good. I'm not making that claim in any sort of way. Do you understand that? Can I move on?
I understand now that you're saying that, but you're correct when you earlier assumed that it sounded like you were, because it absolutely did sound like you were making that claim.
Okay, I'm clarifying. Not making that claim. Okay, I'm positing that this is normal. That's my first premise. Not making the moral claim, just a descriptive claim. That's all. Second claim. Okay, if we want to change this, we have certain inputs that we need to put in to get a normative or desired outcome. Second claim.
What was the second claim?
The way we change this. Excuse me.
What was your second claim?
Second claim was that we have desired inputs to make a normative change.
Okay. In order to change this, our tribalistic nature, we need to spend certain inputs. For example, the law costs money. School costs money. The way you're going to change this is, for example, is through the law, for example, criminalizing hate speech, or, for example, schools with curriculum that, for example, teach, CRT, or people to perceive their own biases, whatever. You're pick and choosing. I'm not. Listen.
Sure.
I'm
so let me.
for example.
Let me address this now. So when we have the desire to make different changes or whatever, I think that you're looking at this way too rigidly. In order to introduce diversity, it doesn't have to be like, if you say this, you're getting thrown in jail. You have an implicit bias. Actually, according to a lot of the available data we have, it shows that just basic exposure helps people become less racist. And that kind of goes along with your tribalist claim. Because people are sometimes naturally drawn to what looks more familiar to them, introducing diversity in a natural way by just letting people immigrate into the country, at least I'm speaking here from America, this oftentimes leads to less racism and better social cohesion, and in turn, we all benefit from diversity. You can look at various different studies that show that are like communities where people are predominantly white, as there is more diversity just sort of naturally introduced into the community, the people of that community tend to become far less racist. I know there was one study that was misdone. I know there was one study in 2008 that claimed the opposite, but I know that it had several flaws and has since been rather heavily debunked. So yeah, for the most part, diversity seems to benefit people. And again, we achieve this by just social exposure to other races.
I disagree. Diversity made me super racist.
I mean,
well, that's your problem, buddy.
You got exposed, Aiden. That sounds more like
you're
you got
radicalizing me,
exposed.
Hunter.
I think
no, Aiden. I think you got exposed to it in a completely
Hunter, you
different light.
radicalized
You got to
me.
see-
Aiden,
No,
you were
listen,
radicalized the day
listen.
Aiden, you were radicalized the day your father left.
No, your video is radicalized.
Hunter, you don't have to pull that kind of shit.
No, I appreciate that.
Let's be civil.
Thank you for radicalizing me, Hunter Avalon.
Conversation. Hold on, no. We're having a civil conversation. Please stop. We're having a civil conversation. Please do not destroy this.
Yeah, but that's why I wanna say, like, literally, like, when it comes to diversity, for in my opinion, in my like experience here, I live in a pretty like diverse society. There's like a lot of cultures here. In fact, everyone, it's like the more diversity I've noticed, the less people actually focus on their own ethnicity and background.
Right.
It leads to people less having focus on that, because the only thing you're gonna actually be focusing on is the genuine personality. You're not gonna start caring, oh, who he's black, or oh, he's Arabic. You're gonna think, that guy just seems like a piece of shit. Like, he's just rude to everyone. It's never gonna be that you think someone of a particular race, ethnicity, or anything like that is gonna be like more a certain way or some shit, because you're gonna know from your own experience that's not true.
Right.
One of my best friends, and actually like a brother to me, is from Uganda. Had we never had this diverse society at all, I would have never met him. Which I'm glad for that I did. Aiden, maybe you in your experience, you got a lot of people who are racist. I'm not saying you are, but I'm just giving an example here. For example, some people that, like, for example, get exposed to some people that commit violent acts towards them, and they connect that with their ethnicity or background. Like, for example, if I was, some people would be like getting beaten up by some black guy, and then they would be automatically like afraid of every black guy, because they're thinking, last time I got beaten up by a black guy, let's hope I don't get beaten up again. And then
Right.
eventually they're gonna take this hatred and it's gonna build up, and then yeah, they're gonna see them as less valued, and yada yada, shit like that will happen. You'll be radicalized.
Vigil Fort, your response?
We actually go to the conversation, or like it's like a psychological analysis of like the topic of the conversation.
We go back to homophilia village.
We get rid of the tribalism instinct or whatever by just introducing more diversity naturally, by like allowing immigration, for example.
So a lot of white people should go to Chicago, right?
Okay. So Hunter, may I ask you a question? So, okay,
No,
so you
Pepe,
say that
I'm still talking to him. So I want to repeat what he's saying. So I come from the polar opposite position. I've read plenty of studies that in order to maintain a diverse and multicultural society, we have necessary trade-offs in order to maintain that. Right? For example, we need to enforce multiculturalism in a way, right, that the participants have a healthy existence. There was this study, for example, from like kids in Sweden, right? If each ethnic group organically and naturally preferred their own people, right, in order to maintain, for example, this coexistence, the teachers had to enforce a system where they had to play all together, right? So exercises, for example, curriculum between people of different races, right, had this positive impact in order to allow for diversity and from these intercultural and inter-ethnic relationships to blossom. Okay, obviously, I'm not disagreeing with this.
But there's
certain mechanisms that need to be put in place for this to work out. Do you deny this?
I agree with that generally, that yeah, like we can't just stick a bunch of people with like very different cultural norms in the middle of a country with different cultural norms. I agree with this. Thankfully, a lot of the times when it comes to immigration, there are ways and courses that they can take to try and assimilate. And also, I looked this up because I don't really believe you that you've seen various studies showing that racism or exposure, well, I guess that you said you saw studies showing there are trade-offs, which maybe, but my claim again is the role of diversity exposure in reduction of racism, right? So this right here, according to Sage Pub Journals, despite multidisciplinary theorizing on the consequences of the changing racial demographics in the United States, few studies have systemically examined how exposure to racial diversity may impact white individuals' lay beliefs about race. In a longitudinal study, we explore whether living in a racially diverse environment with a high multiracial population was related to less racism, endorsement of race essentialism decreased over time, and greater diversity of acquaintances over time was associated with this decrease. Race essentialism reduction also corresponded with a decrease in modern racism and social dominance orientation, and an increase in cognitive flexibility over time. These findings are consistent with the idea that a racially diverse social context can shape endorsement of race essentialism and lead to social and cognitive benefits. So, again, this benefits everybody, not only culturally, but even cognitively, according to this study, when people are exposed to diversity.
You can't say everybody, but...
Send that study, because that sounds like monumentous bullshit. I want to look at that.
Okay.
Like now.
From the same website, I'm posting a study, for example, that multiculturalism actually reinforces race essentialism.
Oh yeah, of course it does.
I agree. I'd like to see it.
No, but I don't want.
Well, no, but still though, Hunter, can you just send the study that you're quoting? I want to have a look at it.
Send it.
It's on.
Guys, is this a debate, or are you guys
I don't want conversation.
Dude.
Saying, holy fuck.
Holy shit. Dude, Vilfor, just stop. Dude, I'm just asking for the name of the study, man. Just chill, okay? So, Hunter, okay? If you can't send the study, that's fine. Okay, just tell me the name and I'll look at it myself.
Hey, voice links. I'm going to lower your volume because I think you're trolling. Because I said
Hunter, you went to imright.com to say diversity is a strength.
Hold on, I say hold on. I say that the study
is this Aiden?
For the fifth
No,
time.
that's dude, Vilfor, that's your study. That's not the one that Hunter cited. I'm asking for the one that Hunter cited, which supposedly refutes yours. And he's not giving it so far, okay?
Don't waste the conversation to talk about that.
I'm trying to find, I searched up, how does exposure increase racism, right? And I'm actually seeing the opposite again from PubMed.gov. Mere exposure.
Dude, send
and
the
racial
sources then.
prejudice,
Like, send these things that supposedly refute whatever the other guy's saying, so I can take a look at them and I can either see that's bullshit or it's not bullshit, depending on what citations they're using and etc.
It's
Hunter, there's a chat room called Voice Links where you can do it.
Hunter,
yeah,
I'd
you
like
can.
to
You
point
can
out
Yeah,
a
exactly.
blog
Hunter, just
study.
Hunter, just post your link
This
in
is
there.
the one I
we can all
just
take a look
sent.
at
I
them.
haven't looked over this one very quickly.
His last name is Zebrowitz. Sounds reliable.
So, hold on, you're just googling stuff up when I'm talking. Hold on, for someone
Okay,
that
so
was
first of all, I
claiming
don't
that
think
you
you've
will-
actually read this because, like, I mean, first of all,
Well, I
like,
didn't.
although
This
this
one
is a
I
free
just said.
PNC article,
This is a small one that I just saw quick off the bat when I was trying to find the opposite. I have another one that I'm going to send you in a second.
so what you're telling me is that you're just Googling now and then sending studies and just reading the abstract?
No.
That is how you find study.
No. What I'm saying is that I've already done this research, but now when you're bringing up contrary claims, I'm trying to find that research again very quickly. So, yes. And also, I was trying to actually find the opposite position to try to, because the guy said he found a study. And upon looking for it directly, I found the opposite. That was the point I made. Don't try to bring this back around and be like, you used Google, huh?
Why isn't
anything.
I mean, like, here's the thing, like, how is, like, saying you used Google, huh? Like, how is that an argument exactly? Like, you are doing that. You are literally just finding random things that seem to support your argument.
No. I looked for the opposite, okay? You're not making an argument, so with that, I am allowed to respond by roasting you and your dipshittery. All in all, this conversation has been really quite a lot of fun, guys. I think that we've had...
I don't get it. How does that logically follow?
Nazi grifter, bro.
What? No, hold on. So
Wait,
if I
really
say
quick,
that, like,
wait.
you know,
Who's
like,
the guy that called me
that
the...
chair
Wait,
is a good
before
chair.
I
Like,
go,
this
I
is
gotta
not an
ask.
argument. This is not an argument.
The guy
Like,
that called me the grifter.
Bro.
What is a grifter?
So
Can you
hold on, so if
define
I
it
say
and how
this
I
chair
found
is
that
a good
definition?
chair, like, that-
Aiden, hey,
that is...
because you're a liberal now.
Hold on, stop.
Dude, everyone's just talking over each other, man.
I know, I'm
Just
leaving.
stop one at a time.
This is what I do. I just want to see the world burn.
jeez.
Love you all. Bye-bye. Kissy face. Shit, dude. I drop in, just argue for like an hour, create nothing but chaos, and just get my content, dip! Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you get notified when I drop a new video.